Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Fastlane Live. Joining me tonight, as always, is Jonathan Polk, and Joshua Capano here for the Texas Motor Speedway race in the In the Pits News Truck Series. Good evening, guys.
Good evening. Oh, good evening, Adam.
That
Um,
was off to a great start.
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you showing? Oh wait, I'm stupid. Yeah, that's not on
Okay,
stream. Um, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm feeling energized.
that's really apparent. Well,
Shut.
we're gonna
I can't say
we're
that.
gonna we're gonna start off by talking about a couple weeks ago, guys, the All-Star race we had. The first race of the All-Star Summer Championship was at Langley Speedway. Kyle Ruda ended up getting the victory. A little bit of a surprise to a few of us because he hasn't raced that often. Just came in and I put on a show really at the last end of that race. But Josh, main story was Bridger Olsen up until the last restart.
Oh man, I'll tell you. You know, my pick was, of course, Kyle Reeder. I picked Kyle to win because he is such a good short track racer. But I think a lot of us were surprised by Bridger Olson and his speed. I mean, Bridger, he did an incredible job. Led so many laps, he was untouchable. And then a penalty, and nobody knew what happened. And it opened up the lead. The seas parted, if you will, for Kyle Reeder to take the lead, and was able to lead till the end. But I'm telling you, man, it was tough for to watch for Bridger Olson, especially after putting on such an incredible race.
And Jonathan, I talked to you a little bit about this in an interview that's going to come out next week on Fastlane. But the way the race went, in terms of the way it was organized, a little bit haste, and then one thing that will be changed moving forward is the choose cone. You talked about that. So, what was the biggest shakeup in that, like all the restarts we had, and just constantly getting stuck on the top?
Yeah, that's half the reason I could never really race him. The other half was that we had 50 cautions, so I could never really get to Bridger Olsen. But I had a feeling he was going to be probably the fastest guy. I mean, that dude's fast in everything I see him racing. So, um, yeah, he put on a great show until the last restart, and he couldn't have done that on any other restart where I was on up front. He had to do it after I had. I think I wrecked Joseph Lester, and then I ended up wrecked more. So he had to do it after all that. He couldn't have just done it when I was up front, so I can get the lead. But yeah, that's about how my whole I guess I'll call it race weekend went because yeah, nothing really went my way.
Well, the results with that ended up being Kyle with the win, of course. Cam Caldwell got up to second there. Michael Kruger got third. He had a lot of damage at the end, but fought through for that. Kenneth Cheney fourth, and Ollie Reeves, the lone driver from the Coast to Coast Cup Series, ended up in the top five. Guys, we're going to move forward to the next race. Going to be at Lanier Raceway. I'm assuming, Jonathan, you don't have many laps there yourself. What is going to be the biggest challenge at another short track here next week?
These cars are so different to drive. I don't know what really to look out for. I just have to learn them on the fly, just like I have everything else. And I guess that's a okay strategy. It's working out, but it's not ideal. So I don't know. These cars, they're so different. They actually kind of build bad habits, which I won't really get into. But yeah, I'll try my best to learn it, and I'll try to keep up with Bridger Olsen. I guess that dude was so fast.
And Josh, you're gonna, of course, join me in the booth for that race. As it stands right now, what are you gonna have your eyes on the most when we get up to or down to Linear Raceway for that event, the second one of this three race mini championship?
Yeah, that's tough. But I'll tell you what, I think I think what we learned is really who does the short tracks well. They say the cream rises to the top, and there was a lot of guys with the way the format we had was it shuffled things around, but you saw those rising to the top that qualified well and ran in the heats and the consolation well. So I think overall, now that we have one race down, I think everybody realizes how the format's going to be, and I think that these drivers, they're going to still, you know, do what they do, and we're going to see the short track experts up front.
I don't disagree with that at all. But the thing I'm going to be watching the most, I think, is going to be just the way everyone else is going to learn. The guys who don't have a lot of seat time in that car, someone like Jonathan Parker, just trying to get through the night again and trying to result with a much better finish and a finish that someone like him probably deserves, which is not where he ended up in the first race at Langley. So I think it's going to be another long night of learning, and it's going to be very fast though in terms of, like you mentioned, the way everything got shuffled around through the format. I think it's going to be a lot of that going into that next race, and of course the finale of Mountains is going to be real dicey with that. Well, guys, why don't we look at the upcoming JCTV schedule the next couple weeks? Start off by talking about the All-Star Summer Championship. We mentioned the next race is going to be about a week and a half from right now at Linear Raceway. That's Monday night, July 17th at 7:45. And then the finale, August 14th at Mountainville. And then moving on to this week's Daytona Duels for the Slide Job Racing League, Josh. This Tuesday, kicking off their season with two races at 9 p.m. Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Slide Job Racing League, they had a pretty good season opener. Their Daytona duels last season, couple of interesting winners there. I think we're not going to see anything different. I think it's going to be some drivers that are looking to start off the season on the right foot, and you're going to see them at the Daytona duels. Uh, try to get the win or have their starting position improve for the iRacing.Funny 250, which of course will happen a week later on July 18th.
Yeah, you mentioned a week later, July 18th, is the iRacing.Funny 250. 9 p.m. is when the race is going to start. We'll have coverage a little bit just before that here on JCTV. So Jonathan Parker, the reigning series champion of the Slide Job Racing League. Plate racing, what do you think of that race at Daytona with a lot of money on the line?
Yeah, that's not gonna go well. I think it's gonna go awfully. At least for me personally, I don't know how the race is gonna be, obviously, but these cars are a lot harder than most other cars to pass on. So you get a lot of training, but so you're probably going to see a lot of overly optimistic moves in order to try and get track position because it is just so hard to pass. And that usually leads to chaos, which might be fun for you guys. But oh my god, I'm going to be steaming under the helmet. So yeah, and the duel, I mean, I'm locked in, so I just got to try and improve my starting position because I can't qualify at a plate track. So it's all about getting that money, I guess.
Well, and then I should say next week, next Friday night, the NAL Series returns into action. Phoenix Raceway after a little bit of a midsummer break for those midsummer stretch, and then they back it up with a race at Homestead. Josh, you'll be in the booth. Jonathan, you'll be on the track. What do you guys think about those two races upcoming for NAL?
Well, for NAOR, we've had a few bye weeks, so I think the drivers are antsy to get back with the season going. For one, so I think getting back to Phoenix. I remember last season they had a really good uh, Phoenix race, and actually some craziness as well. Um, the guy that, of course, eventually won the uh, championship. Um, I think he got on the apron, got loose, and absolutely lost it. Come back and still won the race. Now, I think we're gonna see um, drivers that are desperate. We are getting towards the end of the season for the Di9 Designs Anywhere series. But and of course their tournament that they have, to determine the champion. I think it's pretty interesting. But all in all, I think Jonathan Parker, whoever that guy is, he's like an alien. So I think he's just gonna go out and dominate Phoenix anyway.
I'm not an alien. um, Phoenix hosts that I don't really like Phoenix personally, but it's a pretty good track on iRacing though, even though I'm not a fan of it. And I do have some experience there in these cars. I'm not flying blind finally, so um, hopefully I can kind of channel that and use that to my advantage. And same with Homestead. And Homestead's just an amazing track. You can go all over the place. 550 package and all. So should be a lot of fun for you guys up in the booth, and I'll try not to stink up the show, I guess, Josh, since I'm such an alien.
Well, I can't wait to see how it turns out. Best of luck to you, Jonathan. Hopefully, it's not too much of a stinker, apparently.
Yeah, Josh, I'm from Mars or something. What are you talking about?
So moving on for the other Fifth News Truck series.
We're already laughing. Sorry, Adam. We're already laughing. No, John. I
Yeah,
don't
there's a
think you're-
typo on this graphic. I also want to point out, since we're already laughing, the times are wrong for NAL and the Pits News. Those are backward, because of course they are.
Did you do that?
Oh yeah, I did that.
Um,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say no, John. I don't think you're from Mars. I think you're from Uranus.
Uranus. Sorry,
Anyway,
I prefer to be from Pluto,
Pluto,
all the way out there. I'm a dwarf planet.
dwarf planet.
Yeah,
And
I am
think-
not from your anus. No, I'm not.
I think they call it an X planet now, whatever that means. Astronomy, Anyway,
No,
This is going to be clipped and put on the Twitter, I know it.
good.
out of context, JCTV, everybody.
Anyway, let's pull up the other graphic, Josh, with the right time on it.
I can freaking see it.
We're going to be looking at... Oh, no, I'll send it to you.
I am flying blind.
It's the In the Pits News Truck Series upcoming races because, guys, there are only 7 races left in the regular season before we move into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I can only race one of them. Hell. Tell me when you sent it, because I just hit my read all button. So I won't get a notification unless you sent it and tell me you sent it.
Well, before, as it sends, Josh, you'll be on track in those 7 races, hopefully. What are your expectations for these it sent, Jonathan?
Well, I'll tell you, there's some races I have some low expectations right now, the way things have been. But no, Texas. I think Texas is gonna go a lot better than USA International. If you guys watched that race last week, Texas definitely should go better than that one. Now for me, these speedways have been a little bit of a struggle on speedway or on speed for me, if you will. But I've been doing a lot of practicing with my teammates, getting a lot of feedback and stuff. So I'm looking forward to Texas, Martinsville. I'll tell you, I don't believe I've even raced a Martinsville race in the Pursuit Truck Series yet.
EOLs for everyone.
Yeah, so I don't know. I love Martinsville overall. I really do. It's probably my favorite track to race at, a short track that is, on iRacing. I've had a lot of them get away from me in Martinsville, but I don't know, man. That's tough. We look at the Charlotte Roval. I'm not a road course guy. IRP is going to be interesting. Kansas, I think Kansas has been really good for this series, and I think Kansas is one I've only raced once on with these guys, but I think it's going to be pretty much just like any other speedway race. Then you got Talladega, so I don't know. I mean, Talladega's Talladega. I could be comment on that.
Yeah, and it's going to be the Talladega doubleheader, of course, for the second time in a row in the Pits News Truck Series. Going to be very frantic and fun to watch as the regular season cutoff. Jonathan, you're going to be, of course, in the booth with us for that night. What is going to be the biggest thing, in your opinion, if you can predict that far ahead? I know it's about 6 weeks out now, but it's going to be very important to decide these chase positions.
Yeah, as long as they don't update these trucks, I mean, you guys remember last season at that race in particular, the first one, we had certain couple of people who couldn't really push. That shouldn't be that much of an issue because when they introduce this new damage model, as long as they didn't patch it, you can knock the ever living you know what out of the person ahead of you and be okay. So should be a lot more fun in that respect. But yeah, I'm just expecting typical plate racing stuff. We'll probably ride around, race a bunch, probably crash, and then ride around, and then on the last lap, might as well just throw a bomb on the field. But that should make for some fun commentary and some fun racing. So I'm actually a little excited for it because I don't have to drive it because I hate driving it. But it's a lot of fun to watch.
Now, if I may, real quick, you know,
may.
I think the one thing for Talladega, we see there's 2 Talladega races, and that's not the typo itself. That is doubleheader Talladega. You look back at Daytona earlier in the season, and it went caution free, other than the caution for the stage break. That was it. We had no caution for accident. These guys kept it clean until the last lap, when then they decided to wreck. I think this league is very capable of doing that again at Talladega. But they say
After last week, I don't know. I don't know if that's
well,
true.
They do say that when you see double headers like that, Daytona duels, one race is calm, one race is chaotic. We very well could see that, and I'm telling you, the way that these trucks drive, for me, of course, my truck slid, and I was going to be all right, and before I hit the back of somebody's truck that was coming off pit road. That was embarrassing and just horrible. Luckily, no caution came out for it, because I'd hate to see a caution for that. But, Talladega, I mean, it is so unpredictable. You go in thinking it's going to be a crazy wreck fest, and it could be one of the cleanest races ever.
Well, you mentioned that theory about the 2 races, one being chaotic, one being not. We kind of saw that last season, so there's a lot to look forward to here on JCTV. The upcoming races, upcoming weeks, and something fun to look up forward to up next, right here on Fastlane. We're gonna look through the In the Pits News standings, but first it's gonna be Fastlane Jeopardy with Dawson Allen, of course, returning for the second time. But first, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back here on Fastlane Live.
Fastlane, a JCTV podcast, is sponsored by FACES, the National Craniofacial Association.
Fastlane is also sponsored by Spooky Games. Check them out in Attleboro, Massachusetts, or online at spooky-games.square.site or on their Facebook today. Links are in the description. Okay. Okay, back here on Fastlane Live. I'm going to allow Dawson Allen to introduce this because this is his segment and it's been a lot of fun putting it together the last couple times we've done it.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun when we did it last time, so figure why not go for it again. So here we are, NASCAR Jeopardy. We've got 5 categories up on the board, and we've got 3 willing participants that we totally did not gag and bribe to be here. Joining us are 2 champions of our series. We've got Alonzo Chicano, our Season 2 champion, Jonathan Parker, our Season 3 champion, and the eternal champion of never winning a race, Brett Bennett, is here. He's seeing if he can break his winless streak in a battle of wits instead of a battle of the track. So before we began, we did a little drawing. Jonathan Parker will be picking the first category, but let's go over your categories really quick to catch you up to speed if you don't know what Jeopardy is. So we have 5 categories. 5 questions, getting harder as they go down the board for more points. The first category, final first, will be final wins for drivers. Second by seconds will be the second place finisher of a photo finish. Third place to charm are drivers that were able to win a race from third place. 4th of July are events that happened on the 4th of July. And all finishes point to 5th. Those are drivers that finished 5th place at the end of the season in the standings. So, Jonathan, you were the winner of the pre-segment drawing, so you get to go first.
Let's do final first for 200. Wait, hold on, wait. How are we gonna buzz in?
You all will pick a sound on the soundboard, and I will make sure to follow. We'll have Adam help judge who buzzes in first. And
Okay.
All right,
Let's all get a sound first, like we did last time.
I don't even know how the soundboard works, so.
Thank God I did this.
Alonzo,
click
just
the soundboard
shout.
button. Click the soundboard button.
This is mine.
Parker is Taco Bell.
No, I'm not talking about.
Brett's Taco Bell.
You should have known.
Alonzo, I guess you can just shout, "Hey!" or something.
Where is the soundboard?
It's right below the disconnect button on the bottom left.
Connected in the bottom left.
Okay,
like a little
so,
musical
so
note.
either
The fourth tab.
if I disconnect, you'll know I meant to click the soundboard.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, you can keep it pulled up and just have it ready on your
Yeah, you can
sound
keep it
as
open.
well. So, like, if you wanted to buzz in, just be ready for it and just
I got
hit it. So, all right. Well, Parker has chosen to go first for final first 200. So let's get this going here. One Mad Wisconsin native later, and this Hall of Fame driver kept the Drive for 5 alive with this victory at Martinsville. Brett.
Who is Jeff Gordon?
That is correct. The board is now yours, Brett.
Dang, we just got outdone by Brad.
So-
I'll
so
take final
anyone-
first for 1,000.
Oh, okay. Alonzo, what you were saying?
So anyone can just like soundboard just to
Yes.
get the answer out. Okay.
Yeah.
Buzz
Alright.
in, and then we'll call on you to call the answer. But final first for 1,000. It was almost 2 in a row to close the year, but a blown tire meant Rockingham the week prior was this former champion's last trip to victory lane until 2018 as a spotter. Brett.
Who is Bill Elliott?
That is the correct response. 2018 was spotting for Chase Elliott at Watkins Glen. Your sport still.
Final first for 800.
The rain fell down onto Texas Motor Speedway, robbing the fans of seeing that famous celebration one last time. Parker.
Who is Carl Edwards?
That is correct. That gives the board back to you, JP.
We're gonna go second by second for 200.
This Cup champion has yet to score a Super Speedway win, his closest chance falling at the hands of Denny Hamlin in the 2016 Daytona 500.
Adam Kuhn. What the fuck?
Chicano. Alonzo.
Who is
Maybe
Martin
not that
Truex
one.
Jr.?
Yes, it is Martin Truex Jr. Alonzo, the board is yours.
I apologize.
Okay. Second by seconds for 600.
The closer Kevin Harvick made the move at just the right time, edging out this former Daytona 500 champion for the win at Talladega in 2010.
Adam Kuhn. What the fuck?
That was Parker, I want to say. Adam, what did you see first?
I think I saw that one go up first, but then yeah.
Alrighty. So, Parker.
Who is Jamie McMurray?
That is the correct response. Board's back to you.
Second by seconds for 400.
Talladega never disappointed, and this 3-wide finish saw Jimmy Johnson edge out this Kansas native by just 2
Adam
one-thousandths of
Kuhn.
a second.
What the fuck?
Alonzo.
I'm waiting till the question
Who
finishes
is-
being read, though.
I'm
Buzz.
sorry.
That
I don't
doesn't
know what the
mean
rules are. I'm
question's
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you
Well,
gotta wait.
He's playing the
You
game.
don't know
Until the
Jeopardy
question's
rules.
done. And
Yeah,
Alonzo, don't use that soundboard, please. Not that one.
Okay, I'll choose. What's this? Okay, I'll choose that.
All right. Go ahead, Alonzo.
Who is Clint Boyer?
Yes, it's Clint Boyer. Okay, you must wait till I finish reading the answer before you can buzz in, but the board is yours.
Okay. All finishes point to 5th for 200.
In what should have been a championship season in 2020, this driver failed to advance a week prior, having to settle for 5th. I saw a Turtwig first, so that's going to be Parker.
Going to it first.
Who is Kevin Harvick?
That is correct. JP, the board's yours.
4th of July for 200.
It's only fitting that this most recent race run on 4th of July was held at this circuit. I heard the bell first, Brett.
What is Road America?
That is correct.
4th of July for 1,000.
This Milwaukee, Oregon-born driver picked up the victory at the Milwaukee, Wisconsin track in the most recent Truck Series race ran on 4th of July. And out of time. If you want to throw a guess really quick, throw a guess, but it won't count for points.
Travis Quapple.
It was not Travis Quapple. It was back in 1998. Mike Bliss.
Fuck! I mean, damn it!
Brett, the board is yours.
Second by seconds for 1,000 still exists, right?
Yes.
Sorry, my soundboard covers the bottom for.
A straight push by Kyle Busch almost cost Joey Logano the victory, but it did allow this late driver to score his final Xfinity Series top 5. Chicano.
Who is Jason Leffler?
That is the correct response. The board goes back to you with a tie for the lead.
Third plays the charm for 400.
Trouble. Dale Jr. goes for a spin off the front bumper of Kyle Busch, which opens the door for this driver to steal the win at Richmond. Turtwig first, that's Parker.
Who is Clint Boyer?
That is the correct response. Board's back to you, JP.
We're doing 4th of July for 400.
The hometown boy picked up the first ever victory at the IMS road course, just one of his 9 victories that year. Parker.
Who is Chase Briscoe?
That is the correct response.
4th of July for 600.
Mirror driving loses you races, and Kyle Busch learned the hard way, turning himself off the bumper of the eventual winner. Parker.
Who is Tony Stewart?
That is correct as well.
We're going to do 4th of July for 800.
Closing out the category. This NASCAR Hall of Famer picked up the first ever win on the 4th of July for NASCAR, one of his 8 wins en route to his 1952 championship. Brett.
Who is Fireball Robert?
That was before the question ended, Brett.
Before the question ended, but you're also
Doing the
incorrect.
own thing that you said to do.
I know. My bad. I thought I felt very confident in Fireball Roberts. I felt very confident in Fireball Roberts.
Incorrect. We count down 3, 2, 1. Time is
Is it Herb
up.
Thomas?
Answer. Tim
Oh,
Flock.
Tim Flock.
Alrighty. Parker, board back to you.
I'll finish this point to 5th for 400.
History has to start somewhere, and a 5th place finish in 2005 for this driver was the kickoff to the most dominant stretch in NASCAR history. Ooh, that looked like Chicano for me.
Who is Jimmy Johnson?
That is correct. The board to you, Alonzo.
Final first for 400.
It took coming from the back of the pack, but that was nothing for the man in black as he charged to the front to win at Talladega. Parker, or Chicano.
Who is Dale Earnhardt Sr.?
That's correct. Yes.
Second by seconds for 800.
Those are that category. Even road courses can have photo finishes, and this was no exception in Montreal, as Boris said won the drag race against this other ringer. Parker.
Who is Max Pappas?
That is correct. Extending your lead. Board to you.
3rd place is the charm for 200.
The record book shows 0 laps led, but a first place finish for this driver as the top 2 were DQ'd after Pocono. Turtwig first is Parker.
Who is Chase Elliott?
That is the correct
I swear I'm
response.
clicking
Cal Naughton
before him.
Jr.
I swear I'm clicking. I swear I'm clicking before
Parker,
him.
the board's yours.
I don't like
Final.
this.
This is how I felt last time with Michael Kruger, by the way. That dude was on it. Final first for 600.
Close to that category. The Magic Mile rewarded this Hall of Famer with his 40th career win, but in cruel irony, he was still the bridesmaid at season's end. Brett.
Who is Mark Martin?
That is the correct response. The board's back to you. Comeback is still possible.
We'll go finishes point to 5th for 1,000.
Going big now. While keeping it close in the home stretch of the 2011 nationwide season, this driver stumbled from 3rd to 5th as Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hoisted the title.
I think I know it, but I also don't want to guess.
Alonzo.
Who is Trevor Bayne?
That is incorrect. 3, 2, 1, and
Who is Elliot Sadler? Oh,
Reed
Reed
Sorensen.
Sorensen. All right, he lost his ride.
Yes, he lost his ride
Yeah.
after that. Too. Alrighty, Brett, the board is still yours, though.
I'll finish this point the fifth for 800.
This driver held a spot in the Xfinity Championship for 3 times in 4 years, but in 2021, he came up short of a final round berth. Chicano.
Who is Justin Allgaier?
That is the correct response. Board back to you. Now you have the chance to come back.
Third place, the Charm for 600.
It took Kyle Busch blowing a tire and Daniel Suarez running out of fuel on the last lap to allow this driver to score the victory at Auto Club. Parker.
Who is Austin Dillon?
That is the correct response, and that should all but lock it
I
up.
thought
The board is still to you, Parker.
I'll finish this point the fifth for 600.
Close out that category. In 2007, this future champion left for greener pastures, bringing the 5 car back in 5th place to end the 2007 season. That would be Chicano.
Who is Kyle Busch?
That is your correct response. 2 questions left, Alonzo.
Third place, the Charm for 800.
It was a chaotic finish to Kansas in 2016, with Ben Rhodes sending it in on Johnny Sauter, opening the door for this future Cup talent to score his first career win. Brett.
Who is Christopher Bell?
That is incorrect.
Good thing I didn't say that.
Is that what you were thinking too?
Yeah.
1 left. 1 second left. Alonzo, you have a chance to buzz in.
No.
Was it Byron?
It was William
Oh.
Byron.
It was either Byron or Bell. I had a
And
50-50 shot.
formality to finish this off here. Coming into the tri-oval, Clint Boyer all but had the win locked up until Landon Castle shoved this Daytona ace to victory. Brett,
Who is Tony Stewart?
that is your correct response. And that will do it for Jeopardy! Parker with a dominant performance like we usually see out of him, it seems like. 4,600 points. Alonzo coming home in second with 2,800. And typical of Brett Bennett to finish in third with 1,400. Holy crap, the
Hey,
Thunder.
top 5 speed though.
I
rattled-
thought there was 2 rounds, so
The Thunder
I was
just rattled
saving
my
it for the
house.
second half. I was taking it easy in the first half of the race, learning from last week.
Well, you're stupid and wrong. We don't have the time for that. Thank you for tuning in to NASCAR Jeopardy 2. Eventually, we'll figure out some more categories for another round of this stuff. But until then, I'm Dawson Allen, and I'll see you out on the racetrack.
Time for Final Jeopardy.
Oh, you have a Final Jeopardy category now. What's your Final Jeopardy category?
JCTV.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, then
anything
we'll do
about
that. We'll do that then. Okay. So, put in your scores. I'll put back up on the screen for you all to see your scores. And what you all will do is you will take your score and you will make a bet on how many points you want to wager. And we'll see who exactly comes away with the win. So,
We DMing you our bet. Or wait.
DM your bet to me. All 3 of you DM your bet to me. And I will reveal it when we get the answers. And then Josh, go ahead and DM me the answer as well.
Okay.
And we'll just give you 10 seconds to think about it so you can guess it.
So this isn't like a soundboard thing.
No, you're just gonna. We're gonna give you 10 seconds of silence, and then we're gonna let you. We're gonna go in order to guess it. So, all right, the bets are locked in. And Josh, you have our final Jeopardy question.
All right, JCTV just celebrated a birthday on the 4th of July. How old, or what year, rather, what year was JCTV created?
And you all DM me your answers. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pencils down. We will start with the lowest scoring compadre here, Brett Bennett. His guess 2018 is not good enough, and he wagered all 1,400. So Brett Bennett is a big fat loser, like expected. Alonzo, you came home 2,800. You had a chance to steal the win from JP. Did you get the correct response? What is 2021? That is not correct. That is going to cost you 2,799 points. And we go to Parker,
Alonzo, I love you.
who had the answer correct. What is 2020? And he gained 500 points to put himself at
Boo.
5,100.
You son of a mother.
Jonathan Parker wouldn't have lost anyways. He had the right wager, but he also had the right answer. So Parker dominates. And he comes away with the win here in this edition of JCTV NASCAR Jeopardy.
Yeah. Thank you, Alonzo, wagering so you keep $1 and still beat me.
I love it.
Never last, baby.
I don't think Brett can say that.
No, I cannot.
Well, that'll do it for us from Jeopardy. We will see you next time.
Well, thank you so much, Dawson. That was fun. Glad to do another edition of Fastlane Jeopardy here, guys. Get that down. Going to move into the program here and talk about the point standings in the Pits News Truck Series, guys. Looking at the top of the board right now, it's Micah Kruger leading Alonzo Chicano, who we just heard from a little bit. Cameron Caldwell is third, and Justin Duran fourth, and Cole Snyder rounds out the top five. Out of those top five, anyone stick out to you the most?
What was it again?
So I'll go ahead and answer that question. And actually, you know, I'm going to say Cole Snyder. Honestly, I know for a fact he is a good racer. I've been racing around him for years. I mean, before we were even on the iRacing. But I will say, coming into a league like this, in the Pits News Truck Series, and I didn't think I'd see him fifth in points. So, first of all, I just congrats to Cole Snyder for being up there, and he's been really consistent. I think Cole has a good shot at trying to compete for a championship later in the year. But yeah, what a drive! He's my biggest surprise, I believe.
I agree, Josh. I'm glad you said that because he was going to be the guy I said if you guys didn't pick him. Because he was a little bit lower a few weeks ago. He's just consistently managed to get a little bit further up in the standings. And fifth place, is very impressive considering the races where he runs. He doesn't really have fifth place speed. It's either like very solid fourth place speed and something happens to him where he doesn't get the result, or it's right around 8th or 9th. So he's just been able to click off the great results this season so far.
Yeah, I don't know how you top that. he's done great racing against him in NAR. He's a good race car driver. He's got a lot of pace, especially single lap pace. He's got it, and he does a lot of things where, like you say, Adam, he's able to just get the results even if he doesn't have the pace on a certain day. So yeah, he's a very smart race car driver. It's cool to see him up there. And Alonzo is, despite he had a weird stretch where just kind of nothing went his way, 7 truck hitting them all. He's only 26 points back on Michael Kruger. So I mean, he's having a bounce back season for sure. And that win last week was just a long time coming for him. That's not really a shock. It's just more of a shout out, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with that, Jonathan. We talked about that a little bit the last couple of weeks up in the booth between Dawson and myself about how he really has had the speed. He didn't last season, but just the way the races go, it doesn't really seem like it's a great result for him. But the win last week, obviously an outlier of that. It was great to see him back in victory lane and soak it all up. Well, real quick, we talked about Cole Snyder's good run, 5th in the championship. He also leads the rookie standings, guys. 54 points over Michael Walls, who does have a win this season, however. Roy Crump sits 3rd in that championship with Nick Hapiak 4th and Bennett Allen 5th.
How's Michael rookie?
How
many races did he do last season?
Not many at all. I think like
and then he raced the season before
most.
That too, because he raced my first race.
That was still only like 1 or 2 races.
That was one race. Okay, I know for
yeah.
sure, but that doesn't seem right. But yeah, Cole Snyder being up there, he's definitely that basically the shock of the season. He's doing great. I think Nick Hapiak would be further up if he didn't miss a couple races, but I don't know what else to say. Yeah, it's just I'm shocked Mike is a rookie. Actually, that's my main takeaway.
Yeah,
I don't some of the races he did.
I have to agree with you there, but I'll tell you, Roy Crum sitting in third, him and I had an incredible battle on track at Homestead last season. I've seen improvement from him just from being on the track around him. Um, for him to be in third place in the rookie points right now, I don't know if it surprises me or if I'm not surprised. I mean, like I said, I've seen improvement from him. You know, if you were to tell me that last season during the start at Homestead, seeing the mistakes that he made, I mean, like I said, we had an incredible battle, but it literally came down to who made the least amount of mistakes. I don't know. I think it would have shocked me last season, just kind of watching him in the couple that he did. So sitting third in the rookie points, you know, so far having himself a pretty decent season. See if he can keep it up.
Well, guys, real quick before we close up the show, let's talk to one of the drivers tonight. The point leader, actually, Michael Kruger, talked about having that 26-point buffer on Alonso Chicano, last week's winner. Let's drag up Michael Kruger. You got a copy, Michael?
Yeah, I got you, Adam.
Well, you've been out there practicing for a little bit, I presume, on Texas Motor Speedway. So, real quick impressions of the track tonight and what you think about this race tonight.
I'm predicting it will be a hot and slick one tonight, Adam. I think we're going to see some guys sliding, especially on long runs and short runs as well, with how fresh the tires will be. I think we're in for a pretty fun one tonight with some handling issues all around for the field, and it's going to be who's going to manage for the best.
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a tough race, I think, tonight because pretty sure it's our league debut at Texas Motor Speedway, but this has been a track that a lot of people have been clamoring for to be on the schedule. You were one of them last season who wanted to see this one added. So now that it's on here, now that it's race night at Texas, what do you think about that?
I'm pretty excited, Adam. I mean, I've been one of the few advocates to try to get Texas on the schedule, and I'm happy to have it on the schedule here because I feel like in officials it puts on pretty fun racing, and racing in the past in other leagues. It's been a really fun track to drive, and I'm really happy to have it here in ITPN, and hope it becomes a staple on the schedule for seasons to come. Really happy to have it on here, and hope tonight turns out to be a pretty good night.
And so it's going to be also the third round of the bracket challenge, and you are paired up against Cameron Caldwell tonight, the way everything shook out last week at USA. So he has had a lot of, I don't know how to describe it, a lot of different steps in his path to be on the grid tonight and compete. So we haven't talked about that, and what do you think about having to go against him in this bracket challenge at Texas?
Well, I mean, he's not going to be an easy threat or easy guy to beat. I mean, he's going to be making it hard on me to try to beat him tonight on the bracket challenge. And I mean, he knows I'm going to do the same as well. I mean, it's just going to be may the best man win from our side of the bracket, and the better one gets to go to Martinsville and face off either Justin or Alonso. So just may the better man win, and whoever beats him.
Well, Josh, I know you're going to be on the racetrack against him tonight, your teammate, and Jonathan, but do you guys have any questions for Michael?
I actually don't.
Well, you know, Michael, you've had 2 wins already this season, of course, and we come to a track like Texas, of course, and again, you have advocated for a while. Ran really good at 1.5 miles. This track, of course, turns 1 and 2 are different from 3 and 4. What do you think is going to be the biggest key getting around this track to try to get your 3rd win of the season?
It's for sure, in my opinion, going to be 1 and 2. It's the one track where you're really off throttle the most out of any part of the track. You really gotta. There's different ways you can approach it, the corner, get it in and out of it, and it's going to be a bit of a tricky corner really to get through all night, but it's just going to come down to like who can like get through there because it sets up your corner in 3 and 4, which is almost full throttle the whole way. In 3 and 4, and it's just 1 and 2 really just sets up the rest of like your lap, and basically like if you screw that up, you mess up your whole lap and put yourself in danger of losing a ton of time and a ton of positions potentially against your competitors.
All right. Well, thanks, Michael, for taking time and speaking to us on Fastlane Live. Good luck in the 14 truck in the Fastlane 325.
Thank you, Adam.
That is, of course, our point leader in the Olympics News Truck Series, Michael Kruger. I think he's going to be one to watch tonight. He's going to, like Josh mentioned, he's fast on the mile and a half, and like we talked about a little bit, he is one of the guys who has really advocated for this track to be on the schedule, and I think it is going to be a little bit of a different race tonight than what we usually see in the Olympics Truck Series on mile and a halves.
Yeah, this track having the different turns or corners, I should say, down in 1 and 2 from 3 and 4. You know, it can be easy to really make mistakes and cost yourself some time. I mean, if you get offline just a little bit in 1 and 2, it's going to hurt the rest of your lap because 3 and 4 you can pretty much run wide open. So just killing the momentum down in 1 and 2, it can be, you know, a difference in a couple of positions or a lot of positions. You know, so I think tonight it's all going to be about just hitting every lap perfectly.
Yeah, that main difference is 1 and 2, and a lot of people don't really. It's a tough corner to get, is what I'm trying to say. It's very inviting to just shoot straight for the bottom, but you kind of want to apex it a little bit later, is what I found. And if you do that and exit a little bit low off of 2, you'll be just fine. Take care of your tires and be able to keep up your speed just fine.
Well, that's going to be one thing we're going to be watching, of course. Jonathan and I up in the booth, 1 and 2. It's going to be, I think, I agree, guys, it's going to be the tricky spot. The way it was reconfigured a couple years ago. A little different track here on iRacing now, of course, because of that. Good luck to you, Josh, in the 42 truck on the racetrack. We'll be watching you, of course, cheering you on. And it's time to move over to the main feed and get ready with Dawson Allen for the main broadcast of the In the Pits News Truck Series here on JCTV. So once again, good luck, Josh, and good luck, Jonathan, to yourself in the booth with me. That's always the tall task.
Tell you,
This has been fun, guys. Thanks.
we're gonna go out there and get that 42 all we can.
Absolutely. Good luck, Josh, and once again, thanks for hanging out for a little bit here on Fastlane Live.
Thank you.